is Derek from Tomcat Gas Training, and welcome to this video on these. Well, specifically the 15 top tips I can give you when using flue gas analyzers. So, as usual on Tomcat videos, let's stop messing around and let's just get on with these 15 top tips when using flue gas analyzers. Top tip number 1, always make sure your analyzer is in calibration date. There are a few ways you can do that. First of all, they will all send you a calibration certificate. This one's way out of date, this is a very old one, so I don't care about showing you this one. Now this analyzer, which is the Anton, which is the Sprint Pro, tells you on the front there that the time, the date and when the calibration's due, and there is also a sticker on the back which tells you the calibration's due. This one's due in February next year. Okay, so why is that important? Well, when you actually print out your documents or you save it to a PDF, it will put the time and the date and when the analyzer is in calibration. If the analyzer isn't in calibration, then that's just a useless piece of paper. So, tip number 1, make sure before you use your analyzer, it's in calibration date. Top tip number 2, never drop your flue gas analyzer. Because you might just break it. So top tip number 2, never drop your flue gas analyzer because you might end up just regretting it. Top tip number 3, always register your analyzer with the manufacturer. So the reason why we want to do this is if it gets stolen, then the manufacturer will know that it's not the person's who sent it back. Now this is the new Kane 458S, and what Kane have done is on their website they've made this great portal where you can actually register your analyzer with them, and you can even report it stolen via this portal. So that's a great idea. So basically all it is the serial number of the appliance, you put it in and it gets registered under your name. Great idea. So you can get more information on that if you look at my video on this 458S. So top tip number 3, always register your analyzer with a manufacturer. Top tip number 4, always contact the manufacturer of the analyzer before you buy a second-hand appliance. Now, you don't know whether these analyzers have been stolen or not. Now, every analyzer will come with a serial number like we've said. So what you can do is you can contact the manufacturer of the analyzer, give them the serial number and find out if it's been reported stolen or not before you buy it. They will also tell you how old the analyzer is and when it was last calibrated, because that's amazing information you're going to require, because you don't want to be buying an analyzer what somebody's saying is only a year old and then it's 5 years old, because if it's an analyzer over 5 years old then it's going to need a lot of money spending on it for its recalibration. So top tip number 4, contact the manufacturer to find out all the information about the analyzer before you buy a second-hand one. Now a bit of a bonus one here. In my opinion, don't buy a second-hand one. You can get some great deals on analyzers, so buy a new one. And at least you know where it's come from, how old it is, and whether it's been calibrated or not. Top tip number 5, don't leave your analyzer in your van overnight, because some thieving scrope might nick it, or it might freeze up in the winter time because of the moisture that could be inside the analyzer. So top tip number 5, never leave this in there overnight. I'll leave your van unlocked. Top tip number 6. Always make sure you have actually selected the correct fuel that you're working on the analyzer. All analyzers will allow you to go between natural gas, LPG, coal, wood, coke, but you'll need a different readings for that. So always make sure you have selected the correct fuel type before you go on and use your analyzer, because this could throw your results out massively. So top tip number 6, correctly select the correct fuel. Top tip number 7. Now, before you start using your analyzer, one of the things you need to do is make sure we've got no air leaks, or the actual analyzer is sucking air in, and which is diluting your products. There are a few ways of doing this, and you must follow the manufacturer's way of actually testing it. But there are a couple of ways of doing it. You could actually slide over your manometer hose over the end of there, and you can bend the hose over and it can stop it working, or you can just, from the end of there, just pinch the hose and it should stop the pump, or it should put an alarm on. So always make sure you've got no leaks through your hose and through your bowl before you start using your analyzer, because it will give you diluted results, which will be the wrong results. So, top tip number 7, always check your analyzer is not sucking in air. If you haven't seen our series of videos on which is the best flue gas analyzer between the Anton, the Kane and the BlueLyzer, then why don't you check them out on our channel. Top tip number 8. So what you want to do is you want to make your boiler run for at least 15 minutes before you remove this test point and start to analyse. Now, according to the regulations, you've got between 15 and 30 minutes to take flue gas analyzer readings. 15 minutes or you get a stable reading, or 30 minutes. If you can't get a reading within 30 minutes, then you're never going to get a reading. But there are some boilers out there which are incredibly efficient, and if you try and analyse within the first 15 minutes, you will damage the cells within your analyzer, and we don't want to be doing that, do we? So, top tip number 8, always make sure your appliances run for at least 15 minutes before we do any kind of analysing, because we don't want to be damaging this very expensive piece of equipment. Top tip number 9. Always make sure and check your bowl on your analyzer is not full of water before you use it, and also make sure the filter isn't damaged. So you can see here the bowl's got some water in it and the filter is looking a bit worse for wear. So always follow the manufacturer's instructions on emptying the bowl and changing the filter, but this one's dead easy to do. You just lift out there and you can see the filter here is absolutely saturated and needs changing. This can just get saturated with water. It can also get saturated as well with CO2, which will also give you false readings. So always change your paper filter on a regular basis, and always make sure your bowl has no water in it. Even though it gives you this level mark, never let your bowl fill up with water, especially that much, because it will damage the filter. So top tip number 9, always check your bowl for water and always check your filter is in good condition. Top tip number 10, always make sure your analyzer O2 reading goes back to giving you a reading of at least 20.9 before you turn it off. So when you're finished analysing, just put your analyzer on the boiler, just hang over your probe, and then just leave it on now until you get a stable reading of at least 20.9 before you turn off your analyzer. So top tip number 10, make sure your oxygen reading's 20.9 before you turn it off. Top tip number 11. Anyway, top tip number 11. Always make sure your printer and your analyzer are fully charged, because otherwise they're useless. So you can actually get USB versions so you can charge them in your van, but always make sure they're fully charged. Yes, you can use them charging, but nothing worse than getting to a job, wanting to do it, and nothing turns on. So, top tip number 11, make sure your analyzer and your printer are always fully charged. Top tip number 12. Always carry spares. So, always carry your charger. If you've got the USB one, then make sure you've got a spare USB cable for inside your van for charging. Always carry your spare filters. Make sure you carry a spare paper roll, and don't forget a spare manometer tube. So, top tip number 12, always carry spares, because you never know when you're going to need them. Top tip number 13. Anyway, top tip number 13, never put your probe too far in when you're sampling. Now, when you've got like this Ariston boiler, you've got the turret sampling points, you can't put your analyzer too far in. It will only give you 100 to 150 mil to do your sample. But if your sample point is in the elbow, you don't want to be pushing it too far in. You want it to come into the centre of the flue, because that's the driest part of the flue. If you go too far in, you will be sampling at the top or the bottom of the flue, and it will draw in all that moisture into your analyzer. I know that's what your bowl is there to stop moisture getting into your analyzer, but you can prolong the life of your analyzer by just following that small rule. So top tip number 13, don't put your probe too far into your sample point, or you're going to break your analyzer or give you very, very wet, wrong readings. Top tip number 14. So we're nearly there. One thing you never do is put your analyzer into your bag when it's still running, because this will end up like a vacuum cleaner and suck all the loose debris, bits of wire wool you've got flying around in your bag. So always make sure the analyzer is completely turned off before you stick it in your bag. So top tip number 14, always make sure your analyzer's turned off before we stick it in your bag. Ooh. Yeah. And the final tip, number 15, always make sure you treat your analyzer and its equipment with care and respect. Treat it like you would treat your wife and kids. We've got a nice little bag here to store it all in. So make sure you keep it in the bag at all times, because the bag's not just there to keep it all neat and tidy, the bag is also there to protect the analyzer from bangs, and there is a bit of padding in there to also keep it nice and warm. So treat your analyzer with care and respect, because without an analyzer we're not a gas engineer. Without knowing how to look after and use our analyzer, we're just wasting our time. And a final bonus tip, nothing to do with the analyzer, but always make sure you put your test point back in and tighten it up when you've finished using your analyzer. Now some of the analyzers will actually tell you to do that, so never ever forget to put your test point on. Good little tip for you, the final test, once you've put the test point on, is do the sweep test around the appliance with your analyzer. Make sure that is your final test, and then hopefully you'll never leave a test point open. So if you've liked this video, why don't you give us that thumbs up, or leave a constructive comment down below. If you've not subscribed to our channel, then please subscribe, because it helps. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because YouTube will tell you when we release videos. It's mainly on Mondays and Wednesdays. So all I've got left to say is, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, look after that analyzer, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Cheers.